The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Dapat bang panoorin sa sinihan or dapat panoorin na lang sa streaming? Okay, so welcome to Sinihan or Streaming. I'm Roy.
And Angela.
And dito pag-usapan natin kung worth it bang panoorin sa sinihan, worth it bang gastusan, or pwede na lang antayin sa streaming itong bagong movie ng Disney Lucasfilm.
Star
Wars. The Mandalorian and Grogu, starring Grogu.
Starring Grogu.
Yes. Starring Grogu. And of course, Pedro Pascal as the titular Mandalorian. Okay, but before we continue, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends para dumami tayong mga Cinegeeks na nag-uusap tungkol sa sine na to.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Okay, so Ange, mabilisan lang. What did you like about The Mandalorian and Grogu?
What I liked. I've always liked the show.
Mm-hmm.
The show was a very different pace than the movies. Especially nung unang lumabas yung Mandalorian. Syempre, yung style ng pag-shoot nila, di ba, was revolutionary
Yung
at the
volume.
time. Especially lumabas to, pandemic.
Yes.
And we got to have Star Wars during the pandemic.
Wow, nauhaw tayo nun.
That was awesome.
Yes.
So, Mandalorian always had a special place in my heart. That being said, what I liked about the movie was it stayed true to what the Mandalorian show was for me. So much so na what I liked is also some kinda to its detriment. Mamaya I-explain ko.
So,
I'll
natin
explain
mamaya.
more about that. Pero that's what I liked. It stayed true to the show.
Yes.
Ikaw, what did you like about it?
I mean, I agree with that na retain niya yung DNA nung palabas. Na kasi, if you've seen, siguro sabihin natin yung first 2.5 seasons na Mandalorian. Kasi towards the end of season 3, medyo naging plot heavy na siya eh. Especially yung nire-retake na nila yung Mandalore. Pero yung first and second season, ano siya yung puro mga side quest. Wala siyang RPG. Star Wars RPG featuring a father and a son. Yon. Kaya tama yung sinabi ni Ange na yung energy niya na hindi siya talaga strictly parang Star Wars movie yung kwento niya. Niretain niya yung parang merong kailangan gawing quest. Kailangan may puntahang ganito. Kailangan may puntahang ganyan. Ganun siya. So, for the fans of that kind of storytelling of The Mandalorian, this is basically that on steroids. Kasi sine na siya eh. So, parang yung scale ng sine bigla naging sa sine talaga, sa TV pala, sa sine, naglalaki siya bigla. And yung sinabi mo kanina, the Star Wars, anytime there's a Star Wars film, it's so, talagang worth a trip to the cinemas.
Yes.
Pero,
I agree.
Pero may sinabi ka kanina parang there are things to its detriment na baked as well into the DNA of what you liked about it. Sige,
Yes.
what is one thing that really didn't work for you dito sa The Mandalorian and Grogu?
I don't know if it's just me. Pero kasi, like I said, The Mandalorian is originally a show. A
Yes.
streaming show. So, yun na yung parang na-incept sa akin. And watching it on the big screen feels like, for me I don't know if it's the same for everyone else, it feels like a supersized episode.
True.
On IMAX, siguro.
Actually.
Of course, I appreciate the art that went behind it, especially yung mga, di ba, puppet si Grogu.
Oh.
And all the practical effects, lahat ng mga visual effects as well. Sobrang mesmerizing niyang panoorin. It makes me kinda wanna watch the entire Mandalorian series on IMAX, if that's possible.
Pwede sana.
Pero it was built to be a visual spectacle. And I love that. Yun yung in-offer nila dun sa movie. Yun yung different from the show.
That's true.
Pero kasi, basing on the story lang parang it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie. It feels like a Star Wars episode. I mean, one can argue na bakit episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nga, 'di ba?
Pero kasi...
Yung mga movies.
Oo eh. Pero ito, sige. I definitely agree na the one thing that didn't work for me kasi it feels like hindi nga lang episode na super-sized eh. Para siyang isang buong season na kinondense into 2.5 hours, ganon.
Alam mo yung mga Demon Slayer, Hashira
Oh.
yung ganon. Yung anime movie na isang buong season gagawing isang
Oh my
movie.
God. So, ganun na ba siya? Kaya siya gumana. Ginaya na ng Star Wars yun. Ano to? The Mandalorian and Grogu. Mugen Train. I mean, sure. Sige. There are people who it works for them. Kasi, I mean, sa anime kasi, the art itself, the IP itself, lends itself to that kind of storytelling technique. Kumbaga, ilang dekada na tayong nakondisyon na if there is an anime series and there is a movie made about that anime, there is a 70% chance na it's going to be condensed na kwento nung palabas. So, parang siyang, it's basically fan service for anime fans. Now, this is also fan service, eh?
Yes. I mean,
Pero kasi, yung Star Wars IP, katulad na sinabi mo kanina, na parang siyang, it's been nearly 50 years next year, na cinematic. It's a cinematic journey. Even Rogue One was a cinematic journey. Even Andor, the show,
ay oo.
was absolutely cinematic.
Yes.
Kumbaga.
Yes. Nag-iiba na rin kasi talaga yung trend ng mga series.
True.
TV shows has become a lot more cinematic now.
Mm-mm.
Given that mas konti yung episodes, mas maraming budget that goes into a single episode, mas pinaghahandaan, mas pinag-iisipan, mas binobonggahan.
True.
'Di ba? So, parang nagbo-blur na rin yung line between what's good on TV and what's good on the big
Cinema.
screen, 'di ba?
At saka masabi ko lang din, yung bagong Lucasfilm overlord na, which is si Dave Filoni, ang kanyang parang contribution to the Star Wars universe is primarily through episodic television. So, siya din yung nagsulat nito, kasama si Jon Favreau and another individual, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan. Pero yun eh, so alam mo na kung dahil siya yung gumawa, yun yung style ng writing. It doesn't, hindi naman siya sa pangit, pero alam mo yung, siguro the old school Star Wars fan in me, mas sanay ako na if there's a Star Wars movie, I hope to expect a more cinematic Star Wars movie. Yan.
Well, define cinematic. Kasi, is it the visual effects?
Hindi, parang yung episode 1 to 9. Ganun.
So, mas dramatic.
I guess.
Mas
Oo,
epic.
Mas epic siya pa. Parang, tama ka, mas masyadong TV yung feel nitong kwento dito.
Well, because the subject matter is very light.
So,
Yun naman. So, parang, given that logic, or following that logic, would you say na mas cinematic dapat ang Andor kumpara dito because of the weight of the story? Mas epic kasi yan eh. I mean, di ba?
I mean, nung pinapanood natin yung Andor, especially yung season 2, kasi di ba binagsak siya na 2 or 3 episodes at a time, yung release parang strategy nila. It felt like parang we were getting 2-hour movies every week.
True.
So parang siyang ganun. Siguro dahil sa writing lang din. Kaya nga kasi, Filoni is more of a TV writer. Yung Andor kasi, ginawa ni Tony Gilroy.
Who is movie...
Not just a movie writer, pero playwright siya. Pero yun nga, primarily known siya for movies talaga din.
Yeah.
Yun. So siguro doon nagkakatalo. Kaya parang, okay, I still, to wrap this up, I still appreciate that we get a Star Wars film in the cinema. It's been, 6-7 years? Since the last one?
Yes.
Oh my God. Grabe.
And just before we wrap up, I just wanna point out something na na-discuss natin after watching the movie. Kasi we drew comparisons sa Star Trek movies.
Oo.
Na kasi, di ba, it also came from a show. So, parang nagja-jump off of series siya or series finale, let's say. So, would you say na ito yung parang version ng Star Wars nun?
Star Wars Insurrection. Star Wars Generations. Ito yan.
Star Wars First Contact.
If you know it. Hindi yung First Contact, kaya well acclaimed yun kasi talagang sine yung feel niya.
True.
Yun.
I mean, meron siyang standalone story talaga
Yun.
na that needs to be told.
Yes.
Doesn't feel like one episode.
Yun. Those Star Trek First Contact is siguro the best movie based from a cinema or from a television property ever made. Hindi ko kinakount yung JJ na Star Trek kasi ginawa siya with it being a movie in
At
mind.
saka ibang timeline, Kelvin timeline yun eh.
True. Pero yun nga, mas more tong, siguro using the Star Trek analogy, mas more generations to. Itong Mandalorian and Grogu than First Contact. Again, not that it's a bad thing, pero I would have expected, more cinematic flair from my Star Wars. Yeah. Ayun ako. Sige, so, anong verdict mo dito? Pang sinihan ba to o pang streaming?
Ako, personally, dahil lang din dun sa experience niya of seeing other people going to the cinemas in full gear, Mandalorian gear, or mga Stormtroopers gear. Nakakatuwa to watch it in the cinema. So, sinehan for me.
For you. Ako, as big of a Star Wars fan as I am, I would say na streaming to. Etong The Mandalorian and Grogu. Again, I love it na there is a new Star Wars film. Pero, I mean, in this day and age, syempre maging practical tayo. I'm pretty sure na there are a lot of us na, have a Disney Plus subscription to watch the Star Wars shows. And siguro it doesn't clear the bar para sa akin of talagang going to the movie house. Pero if you are talagang a true Star Wars buff, talagang it's worth the trip to the cinema. Sinihan siya kung fan ka talaga. Yun. Okay, so you heard our verdict for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Kayo naman, ano ang inyong view dito? Pang sinihan ba siya or pang streaming? Comment below and let us know. Okay, so for this episode of Sinihan or Streaming, I'm Roy.
Angela.
And we will see you in the next one.